Truth or Dare? My daddy was born in 1917 in Texas. Raised on a little farm in East Texas, his daddy, my granddaddy, would lead the singing at the little church in the community. They were having a harvest party in the late fall one year, and the children from the community had gathered outside to play while the adults gathered inside. The children got a game of Truth or Dare going. My daddy was given a dare to go get in old Doc Smith's buggy and then get back out without being caught. One girl was asked to tell the truth about being kissed by a boy. There was a dare given by a boy as he pulled a fork out of his pocket. The dare was to go across the road into the old cemetery to the fresh grave of Old Man Thatcher, who had a reputation of being an ogre. He had passed recently and his grave was still fresh. The dare consisted of some brave soul going over to the grave and stabbing the fork into the dirt and coming back. After all the boys turned the dare down, one brave little girl said she would do it. She took the fork and without a light went across the road through the gate of the cemetery. The children who stayed behind continued to play the game, never dreaming of what was about to happen. It was getting late, and the party was ending, and the unobservant children had never seemed to realize that the little girl never had come back until her parents began looking for her. Folks began to panic when they couldn't find her. One of the older boys realized she hadn't ever come back from the cemetery and began to tell his father what he had done by sending her to the fresh grave. All the men grabbed their lanterns and headed off toward the cemetery. When they finally found the poor little thing, she had done as the dare had asked her. The only problem was, besides being terrified already, when she stabbed the fork into the grave, her dress got in the way and she had pinned her skirt to the grave with the fork. Then as she tried to leave, she was stuck to the ground, and as fear gripped her very soul, she was convinced that Old Man Thatcher had come up from the grave and had hold of her skirt. At this point, there was nothing else she could do. She literally was scared to death.